What's over here? Whumph! I didn't grow up with no ocarina of time spent wasted talking to NPCs. I didn't grow up with no Crash Bandicoot. I grew up with Monster Tamer games on the Game Boy. Better check your poker privilege, chumps, because it's time to talk about a good game.
It's called Magination. Oh, that name must have taken a long time to think of, if you know what I'm saying. It started out as a collectible card game in the year 2000. A Game Boy Color game was produced for it to help market the brand. It died in 2 years. I should also mention this before I talk about my living nightmare. This is Dan. Dan is the main character of Magination in Japan. You'll notice these two are a bit different. Japan got a shonen manga of Magination. They replaced our dignified and angsty protagonist with this slavering jackanapes. Just... ugh. So yeah, that nightmare I mentioned? In 2007, Magination became a television show. But it wasn't Magination anymore. Oh, the names were the same, but it wasn't Magination.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm not talking about this. We're taking this, and we're gonna come back to it when you've been seasoned for the roast. So let's get cooking.
The world of Magination is called the Moonlands. Presumably it exists on the moon. This one. The central premise of the Magination universe is simple. There's a dream realm where monsters called dream creatures live. These monsters can be brought under control if you can infuse their essence into a ring, and the ring will summon the creature. Essence is found by defeating monsters. People who can control monsters and also cast spells, I guess, are called Magi. Here's our protagonist, Tony Jones. So here's Red, and here's Kobe from Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, and here's Tony again. This kid not the coolest kid ever? Like, okay, cargo pants, red hoodie, them fresh whips. Is that a legendary 90s chain I see? And that expression, this kid's concerned about stuff, and boy howdy, them creators want you to know it. Not to mention, by the way, that his design makes the reimagined Tony Jones look like a fucking loser. Like, yeah, nice t-shirt tucked into your sweatpants, dork. Right back to the game. We begin in Tavel Gorge. It's a fictional place with a giant cave. Tavel is the last name of the creator, in case you wanted to know. These are the neighborhood kids. They're douchebags. Tony walks up all like, hey guys, what's good? And like all children, which is a word synonymous with sociopath, by the way, they make fun of him and won't use his real name unless he goes into a cave to grab them a crystal. What makes Tony go into the scary cave alone? They call him Phony Bones. Oh! Only the hardest, meanest kids live in this town. Tony says fuck it and walks in. He finds the crystal which triggers a cave-in. As he falls to his death and the cave trembles, the boys outside realize that they've committed what is essentially manslaughter, but choose to watch anyway. Yeah, a kid died! When Tony awakes, two monsters spouting nonsense attack him. He touches a crystal and a bear caribou comes out. Caribou? And it kills the spooky bat critter and the monsters run away. Insane Moses arrives and says some words, I will choose to judge this game solely by his dialogue, for he is a prophet.
This is fucking funny, bitch.
Turns out you need a magic bracelet to communicate with these people. This is never explained, so it never had to happen. They just wanted to establish that this isn't Earth, which was already established by the presence of monsters. Good. Great
job.
Work. Good job. Great work. So here's the setup, and honestly it's about the most cliche thing they could have done. There's a prophecy. Insane Moses is looking for the great Magus Kairos who will save Magination or something. Apparently it's in danger. Tony is taken then to see Orwin, the leader of Vashnarum. Orwin doesn't believe that Tony's the great Magus because, fucking look at this guy. He wants Tony to stay in town. Tony says, I could listen to him, or win. It's not even a joke. And this kid likes to collect spooky plants, I guess. Hey, that's fucking cool, man. Before the story happens, though, we have to go training, and this guy, I swear, sounds familiar.
Ooh, yeah, dig it.
It's fucking Macho Man Randy Savage. It took me more than 10 years to realize that it's fucking Macho Man Randy Savage. You can't do that. You can't just make him some anime-looking kid running around shouting, ooh yeah, dig it, brother. It's disrespectful.
A giant shadow pops up in the forest. Orwin tries to stop it but gets poisoned. Turns out only Tony can enter them, which means he really is the Great Magus. He walks in, wrecks the place, and the game confirms he has hairy buttocks. Hey, that's real fucking cool, man. You travel all over the Moonlands, meeting strange people with one familiar problem: a giant black geyser near the town. It's never explained why they're bad, it's just assumed that they're bad. Like, literally no one says specifically what they do that's bad, but dungeons, you know? Black plus dungeons is evil things. You go underground. The underground part of the world is full of mushroom people with mushroom things. Even their hair is mushroom-like. And also, this guy is Wolverine. Seriously? And he's not even a main character, you just slapped Wolverine into a worthless NPC and tossed him in a corner. That's like making Batman the potion vendor in an RPG. I am the knight. Would you care to buy an elixir? And this guy's The Rock. That's just who he is. Christ game, lay off the references. That's how you end up like Borderlands. Tony destroys the geyser, but the town is under attack. The spooky ghost man from the forest is here, and he destroys the town completely and turns this woman into a snake. It's honestly kind of horrifying for a kid's game. Tony gets annihilated, but some loser chucks a stabby thing at the evil carpet and saves him. Next you go to Fireplace, and everyone is mean to you. A midget, am I allowed to say midget? What do you think, Jontron?
I think they prefer to go by little tiny f***s.
Anyway, he helps you prove yourself to the town, and within the span of the dungeon, those same villagers throw a party in your honor. And let me tell you, Tony knows how to get down. Other random shit vaguely reminiscent of Chrono Trigger's opening includes a magic show and a fire-slinging 6-year-old. They even put on a play, which would be funny if it didn't suck and also wasn't exactly what happened over the last 30 minutes in-game. But the malicious Duvet Man appears and vaporizes some people. This is a kid's game! Not the Olsen twins! No! And captures Tony. Why didn't Morag kill you exactly? He wanted to bring you to the worst dungeon in a game that I've ever played. It's so bad that it's main game content that the creators let you skip. You can literally run to the left and skip the whole dungeon. Or you can do the shitty dungeon and save Orwin. Big deal, he'll be dead by the end of the month. I get that it's part of the game, but who writes this shit? I actually don't know how people beat this dungeon without a walkthrough, because the battle rate is crazy high, the whole place is a fucking mess, and it's hard to explain, but in this game it's better to fight unless you vastly outscale the enemies. So if you have no monsters for protection and you run and fail, you're gonna get wrecked real quick, and the monsters here are super tough so that you rarely refund the energy used to make the creatures. In the end, Tony dives into the ocean. Now we're going under the sea. I hate to say we're blazing through the game, but honestly there isn't much. Story merely exists to contextualize running through various colored places. Like here I am, already under the sea, and the only reason I'm here is to solve these people's fucking problems. You're so useless! Anyway, gliding on turtles leads to the next dungeon. This is the character development dungeon where the boss tempts Tony with going home nice and easy if he doesn't destroy the core gate and foil the villain's plans. Oh yeah, because this game is so hard, and I'm just so desperate to see that jape of apes back in the real world. And dungeon's over. Returning to Orwin and Insane Moses, we learn that not only is Tony not the Great Magus, but the prophecy is for some reason in fact a warning that allows the presence of dungeons in the world. Because it was that hard to read the stone tablet or whatever it's on. Come to think of it, where is the prophecy anyway? At the gate to the real world, Tony reflects on how horrible this ending is. We hardly even did anything. Like yeah, we grinded a lot and did some stuff I'd rather not talk about. But where's the climax? Guys, I know you don't have souls, but you're looking awfully vacant today. Oh no. Korg and Zet ambush you in an illusion. Korg goes down easy, but Zet's surprisingly strong. Then again, maybe not, considering he was literally crushed and exploded thanks to Korg's dumb fuck self. He goes down eventually and no! We're kidnapped by flying soldiers. Oh my god, I get to go to Sky Place too? Screw Moses, I've got content! So in the castle in the sky, we meet some girl who gets vaporized in about 2 minutes of screen time, and the queen, who gets vaporized in about 1 minute of screen time. Now before she makes Morag, the guy who's fucked you up thus far, look like a soggy rug. Shit goes down when the boss man himself walks in. Agram. He ups the body count and then fails to do anything to you. Literally, he could crush you with his disgusting mutant fists, cause you know, Morag said he had plans for Tony, but he just kinda magics you and fails, and then drops some completely divergent exposition until Tony lays down the law. Shut up! And he's all, what the fuck you say to me, bitch? And Tony says some fucked up shit about destroying him too. Hell yeah, Tony's so cool. Usually heroes snap back with the old, you'll never get away with this and the like, but Tony literally tells Agram he's gonna write slander on his tombstone. Nintendo seal of approval, ladies and gentlemen. The The final dungeon is a lazy amalgam of the other dungeons, which is sensible because it's the last one, but makes absolutely zero fucking sense considering the actual caves, lava, and water they imported from the other regions. The boss, the rustled floor mat, is a lazy boss design with zero mechanics and no originality, which is sensible because none of the other bosses really did either, but makes absolutely zero fucking sense considering the actual caves, lava, and water we trudged through to get here. God bless your black, shriveled heart, Magination. At some point, you can revive Orwin if you did the impossible dungeon, to which everyone says, yay, and we move on with the story, with no rewards.
It'll all be over soon.
In the end, Tony enters the core gate. You know, the place that's supposed to lead home, but actually leads to the final boss. Whoo! Dodged a bullet on that one, huh, writers? Tons of people turned to stone reside behind the gate. Even the people killed by Morag and Agrum, so I guess none of the death actually matters. As per usual, Agrum gibbers some incoherent drivel about Kairos and the Ancients and justifiable genocide, and I don't know where the prophecy plot point is in all this, but let's see if we can't carve it out of Agrum's bowels. Agrum's only claim to fame is a set of 3 spells that allow him to insta-kill one of your monsters. While annoying, suddenly popping a strange complication into the final encounter does not count as boss design or game design. He dies ass up and you save the Moonlands. Going back home gets you nothing, you still don't have your name. Thankfully, the cut to the Moonlands post-Jones will be more interesting. Just kidding, we learned that everyone in the Moonlands is a spastic freak and Moses can chop wood efficiently. And that's the end of Magination. So nothing, no consequences, no ramifications. Waste of your time, waste of your fucking time. Good story, good bad story. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Magination. You gotta care about the characters in a story for the story to matter, you know? One thing I love about this game is how it establishes Tony's character. He's not a silent protagonist, he's confused by this world and reacts accordingly. He has dialogue for interacting with most of the objects found in homes. His dry humor is really entertaining. And everything about the world becomes lovable with Tony. You can like the character if you have any sense of humor in you, and by extension come to love the places and things in the game. Everyone is crazy and Tony's just a guy wading through it. Like, just take a look at some of these. KBash? Oh, you know, just the game's completely unexplained series of cat paintings that meow at you. What? But why though? Man, I just love this game. It really captures the young mind with its mysteries. There's doors everywhere in the game that don't open. I just want to know where they go, you know? There's a giant subquest that makes you do all kinds of crazy shit to get the best monster, but no one could figure it out without like the Primus strategy guide or something. You know, stuff like running around a statue 5 times and clicking on the eye, doing the whole game out of order and going to really specific places, letting fungus eat spooky plant kid's house. There's creatures you can't even get because they weren't programmed into the game. Yeah, the game's messy, but fact is, you'll never find a game like this on the market again.
Oh yeah, that thing I put over there. Guess it's about that time. Looks like I found the real phony bones. Let me ask you a question. Has Link ever permanently become his Toon version? No? Has Knuckles ever permanently become this? No? Right. That would be awful, you know, to permanently reboot an IP so that its characters were unrecognizable. Especially a franchise that blue balls its players for years. So we're gonna play a game. It's called Then and Now. Here's Tony. Good. It's his Baraboo! He can talk now. This is Orwin. A point deducted from dignity for each year regressed. This is Agrum.
Are you okay in here?
I just want Magination to be something, you know?
You did the best thing you could have done. You shared it with the world.
Yeah, if anyone sees it.
Well, you tried anyway. Anything you want to say before it's all over?
No. No, you wouldn't listen anyhow. And what I'm feeling now has no easy explanation. Hasn't this been a great achievement? Losing my game and nothing in return.
It's an old game. Let it rest in peace.
Magination is dead. This is the best I can do for you, Tony. A ship, a symbol of departure. May you find peace on the sunny shores of America. The card game never resurfaced. What we're left with is a Canadian-Korean cartoon bent on destroying the integrity of a series meant to bridge the gap between Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. I loved Magination, and it betrayed me. Like magma in the sea, you harden, cool, and remain firmly stuck where you were before, only worse for wear. And while we're being ground to dust by the waves under the stark, glaring eyes of time, I'll hold on to what I remember, gazing at the sky until we're both reduced to nothing.
Hey, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Take the time to subscribe if you like my content. No pressure. Same goes for likes and dislikes. If you liked it, leave a like. If you disliked it, hey, I'm not judging you. Also below, you can check out my other reviews. Lost Kingdoms 2, I like that one a lot. And Survival Kids, it's a wacky time for wacky people. So stay tuned for more. Next time on KBash, it's gonna be really fucking serious.